Welcome back to Trailer Trash Flips. My name is Mac, and I buy things to sell on eBay and Mercari to try to make a profit. Today is Thursday. It's Thursday afternoon. As a matter of fact, it's about 3:45. I had to work today, and my work ran over, so I'm kind of scrambling to get these orders pulled. I've only got 6 orders going out today for a total of $83.44. I do need to hurry up so that I can get these packed and get to the post office before 5 o'clock when they close. In H3, I got 1 bottle of supplements, and these sold for $6.03 plus shipping. In the 010 bin, I've got 2 cans of snails. And these sold for $8.04 plus shipping. On the LP1 shelf, I've got this thing here. Don't fall, don't fall, don't fall. Okay. This is an original apple baker. This sold for $17.26 plus shipping. Back in my eBay room, in the I bin, I've got this Pocket Monkey multi-tool, and this sold for $6.36 plus shipping. In the Q bin, I've got a poker chip set. That's not it. And these sold for $3.60 plus shipping. And finally, in the J bin, I've got 2 bottles of these VitaSoothe Pro supplements, and these sold for $42.16 plus shipping. So here are the 6 items going out today. These Myo Inositol, or whatever they are, those came from the bin store. I don't know, I think they were $1. But these are all close dated, so 7 of 2024. So that's why their price is substantially lower than what I had them at. But yeah, I either paid 50 cents or $1, probably $1 for those. And I've got a couple bottles left, so hopefully I can at least liquidate those and make a few bucks on them. These are snails, Zoomed's Cano snails. I bought these super cheap. I think they were 50 cents per can at the bin store. These 2 bottles of VitaSoothe Pro, I got these from an estate sale. I don't remember how much they had them listed for, but it was 50% off of whatever the price was. I think they were maybe $15, and I offered her like X amount of dollars for the whole lot of them, and it ended up being $3 and something per bottle. So these are pretty good considering these 2 I've got about $7 into, and they sold for $42. The Pocket Monkey multi-tool, I bought this at an estate sale. It was either $1 or $2, and I actually was going to keep this myself, but when I was listing the items from that estate sale, I'm like, well, I'll just go ahead and list it. I'm probably not ever going to use it. So I did list that, and it sold pretty quick. The poker chip set, I bought these a few years ago from Amazon. So for a completely unrelated purpose as to playing poker, I never used them, so I just listed them on eBay almost 2 years ago at this point. So they finally sold. They didn't get much, but I basically got my money back out of them. And this original Apple Baker baking dish came from an estate sale. I do not remember how much I paid for this, but it was brand new. It's got the instructions in here and everything. They did not come in these little foam sleeves. I put those on there after I listed them, just as a little more added protection. And I'm also going to pack some more packing paper in this box to keep everything still, and then of course put this box into a bigger one. But I may have paid $5 for these. I want to say I paid $2.50. I think they were labeled 5 and it was 50% off, so I think I've got only $2.50 into these, but I could be wrong. It may be $5. It's Friday, and unfortunately I've only got 1 eBay order going out today for $11.08. So my sales are way down from what they were last weekend. However, what's really going to save the day today is I had my second sale on Mercari, and it is a $225 sale. It's this lymphoma press that I had listed on eBay originally, and I knew that it probably was going to get pulled down, even though there were some others listed. I still don't understand how that selective pulling down of some people's items works, but I did anticipate that it was going to be pulled off of eBay, and it was quickly. So I listed it on Mercari, and it's been there for about a month now. And I've only had 3 items listed on Mercari, and 2 of those items have now sold. This lymphoma press sold just yesterday, and oh yeah, there was a crumb cake baker or crumb cake maker or whatever that had sold last week. So that had only sat on Mercari for either like a day or 2 before it sold. The lymphoma press, like I said, has been there for about a month. And then I have a Hummel figurine listed there and on eBay. I had said before that I didn't know how much time and effort I wanted to put into Mercari, being that it was a newer platform for me, and most people say that eBay still sells substantially better. And I still believe that's the case, but being that I've listed 3 items on Mercari and 2 of them have sold, one of those relatively quickly, and even the lymphoma press, it's only been on there a month. I've got things on eBay that's been on there way longer than that. So I think it's time that I may want to step up my game a little bit with Mercari. I have not decided if I want to go ahead and start using a cross lister, but for sure I am going to try to get more things listed on there for now. So with the Mercari order, I've got a total of $236.08 going out. So let me go pull those items right now. In 010, I've got a 2-pack of practice putting cups that go into like an air vent, and these sold for $11.08 plus shipping. And back in my eBay room, up here on the shelf with no name, is the lymphoma press. Those are the accessories. Here is the unit itself and the leg presses. So the air vent putting cup for golf, these came from the bin store. These were actually sold separately, but one of them was missing the little practice ball. So I just lotted these up together as a 2-pack. And I've either got $1 or $2 into these. I don't remember if I paid 50 cents or $1 for each one of them. I did have them listed for a little bit more, but I've reduced the price on them, so I'm just kind of happy to have these things out of here. And then of course the lymphoma press. This came from an estate sale. Believe it or not, it was only paid $4 for this. It was marked 8. It was a Sunday, so it was 50% off. So this is an absolutely killer deal right here. It's got both of the leg presses. It's got the main machine here, and then inside this box, I think this is the power adapter, and there's some extra parts in here too. Oh, and I think there's an adapter plug for like European outlets and stuff. But anyway, yeah, this was a smoking deal. Definitely one of the better flips that I've ever had. Today is Wednesday. I've got 5 items going out for a total of $94.61. I'm still waiting on payment for one item, which I sent an offer out on. It's like $7.24, just an LSU coffee mug, but they haven't paid yet. I didn't film earlier this week with my weekend sales because mainly I was strapped for time and I just did not feel good. I'm still fighting the sinus infection that I've had for the last week and a half, and it typically takes about 2 to 2.5 weeks for those things to run their course. But my motivation for doing filming just was not there. I ended up with about $129 of sales over the weekend, which is not great, but you know, knowing how bad eBay can actually be sometimes, I'll take it. I went to 4 estate sales over the weekend. I went to one Saturday, which Saturday was the last day and it was 50% off. And I went to 3 Sunday, which were all again 50% off. Didn't find much at any of the estate sales, and I'll show you in a minute the things that I picked up. I did run into a lady at one of the estate sales the one Saturday, and she's a vendor at a flea market in Alabama. She was down visiting her daughter and said she always hits estate sales when she's here. She actually asked if I was a reseller, and I told her I was. She said, you should really come check out this flea market that I'm a vendor at if you are ever in the area. It's called Redbeard's Treasure Chest. She gave me a card. And it is in Summerdale, Alabama, which I think that's somewhere right around Mobile. So if any of you have ever been to Redbeard's Treasure Chest, let me know how it is. It's really only about a 3-hour drive from where I'm at. And I'm definitely not opposed to a road trip. I haven't been out that way in a few years, but there's a flea market, I guess it would be considered in North Mobile. And when I was still married, we used to make road trips out there fairly regularly, at least a couple a year. And we go out to that flea market, we go out to Buc-ee's and whatever else we, wanted to do when we were out there. But I'm thinking maybe a trip is in order, maybe go to that flea market in North Mobile and also go to this Red Beards and just kind of check it out. I've said before that I've only got one real flea market in my area. There are some smaller places that call themselves flea markets, but I think they're more focused towards some little antique type places. But as far as legitimate flea markets, there's only one. I used to be a vendor at this flea market many years ago, probably 16, 17 years ago. I used to sell sunglasses, watches, blowguns, and throwing stars and knives and things like just typical flea market stuff. And I actually did pretty good. I used to probably net $300 to $400 per weekend, but I was out there for several years and I worked a Monday through Friday at the time. So I really got burnt out on just working 7 days a week. And I did take days off on the weekend when I didn't want to go out there, but I was still having to pay booth rental whether I was out there or not. I originally got started selling at the flea market because my mom made candles. She made hand poured candles, lead-free wicks, long burning, long lasting, all this stuff. And she had just one small inside booth. This flea market is set up where it has inside booths on each side, and then there's outside, not booths, but tables. So it's just a long, skinny deal. And there's tables on the outside, and then a booth facing this way and a booth facing this way. But depending on how many inside booths you want, they can remove the partitions and turn the inside ones into doubles or triples or quadruples or whatever. So as I grew at the flea market, I needed more space. And so me and my mom split the cost on 4 inside booths. And then I also had 2 outside areas. So I was paying for 2 inside booths, the 2 outside ones, and then my mom paid for the other 2. And I had tables on wheels. So I would just, at the end of the day, push my tables to the inside booths and then close up the doors and wait till the next weekend. But if I didn't go out there, not only were my tables in the way for her to operate her business, but I was also having to pay for table space and booths that I was not using. So I was very inclined to go out there on the weekends and use the space that I'm paying for. But I did get burnt out on it after several years, and it wasn't a situation where I needed the money. It was just nice to have $1,200 to $1,600 extra per month coming in. But I didn't really have any help either. I was married at the time, but my wife was not interested in doing that kind of thing, so it generally fell on me, and working 7 days a week is okay for only so long. Now, that flea market is not a place to source anymore. It's very heavily geared towards the Hispanic community, but it's not like a lot of the flea markets that you see other resellers go to buy items to resell. It's just not that type of flea market. But back to estate sales. I try to make estate sale sourcing videos, and I do have some that need to be edited. That I get it, I'm a slacker on editing those things. But the truth of the matter is, I end up with hours and hours of estate sale footage that's very boring. And I try to condense that down into something that's watchable. The problem is, if I only show me actually picking the items, the video is going to be 5 minutes. Or it's going to be extremely long and extremely boring. But the truth of the matter is, a lot of times I'm just not finding much. And the past couple weekends have really been an example of that. Now, the homeschooling picker, you could drop her off at any estate sale in the country and she's going to come back with $500 or $1,000 worth of stuff she bought. But it's not quite the same deal for me. There were 2 estate sales this weekend where I didn't buy anything. There just wasn't anything there. So I'll show you what I did pick up this weekend, and then I will go pull my orders. First was this little paper shredder. It's a privacy guard. At first I wasn't even going to comp this. I mean, it's small. It just does not look like it was worth that much. But being that I was really looking for things to buy, I did comp it. And I want to say I could probably get $20 or $25 for it. And it was marked 5, so I only had to pay $2.50 for it. Next was this, what are these called? Anti-tip mugs or something like that. State Investors Savings and Loan, I guess that's a local company, I'm not really sure. The non-slip pad on the bottom is not all eaten up like they are sometimes. This one was marked $1. I only had to pay 50 cents for it. And I've seen decent comps on these type of mugs before. I do have one already. I haven't sold, but I mean, at 50 cents, I'll take a chance on that. This is a thermos, what is it called? It's just called a jar, insulated jar. Since it was marked $1, I only paid 50 cents for it. I mean, this is not going to be a great seller. Probably $5 or $6, but I picked that up. I found this plate for myself just because it had flamingos on it, and I guess I'm going to put it over here. I've got this other stuff here in the corner. I've got my flamingos on the wall. I think I'm going to put a corner shelf here to help kind of eliminate some of the clutter that I have up here, and I might put this up on it. I also found this bear. It is the Green Mountain Bears. I tried to comp this one. I did not find this specific one. It was marked 3, so I only had to pay $1.50 for it. But there were some other Green Mountain Bears that had decent comps. So I might be able to get maybe 15 or 20 for this. I'm not really sure. Next, I found this Rotato. I couldn't remember what the comps were on it. But looking there, this one is pre-owned $12.99, pre-owned $19.99. Not a whole lot of solds. I did not look at actives, but this one, I believe it is new in the box from what I could tell. Still has the plastic on it. Let's see. Instruction, yeah, it's brand new in the box. So maybe I can get $20 or $25 for this. And at another estate sale, I picked up this Radio Shack digital thermometer. It has the indoor and outdoor temperature with the little probe here, and it appears to be working fine. It was originally marked 4, so it would have been 2. And also picked up this Radio Shack headset radio. Now they had it marked 24, and it would have been 12 if I would have paid full price, but I did ask her if she would do 10 on both of these, because it was in the end of the day, and she was pretty much encouraging people to ask her for deals. So she took my offer of $10. I did open this up at the estate sale, and I couldn't tell if it's been used or not. But if it has been used, it's very, very lightly used. And I did see some comps, I think around $40 to $60 for this. So out of everything here, there's some profit, because I think I spent around $11 at the first estate sale and $10 at the second. So I've only got about $21 into these items, and you know, it shouldn't be too hard to pull some profit out of this. I almost forgot about this, so I guess I need to say I bought things at 3 out of the 4 estate sales I went to. This is a Rubbermaid ice chest. It's a slimline. I can't really remember what you call it. It's not in too bad a shape. Easy cleanup, just some surface stuff there. It's not stained or anything like that. The only problem with it is it does not have the strap that goes on it. Oh, here's the sticker, the Slim Cooler. I did see comps roughly in the range of between 20 and 30 on this. I don't think they make it anymore. It was marked 15, so I only had to pay $7.50, and I thought the comps looked good enough that I would go ahead and pick this up. I completely forgot that I even bought this ice chest. It came from the same estate sale company where last year the owner had chased me down because I inadvertently had underpaid for a whole bunch of makeup bags, which I have yet to even sell one of those. But it was the first time I'd seen this estate sale company since then. So I don't know if he's a part-time estate sale guy or what. I did notice though that his prices were really through the roof. The last one I went to, you know, I bought not a whole lot, but I bought the makeup bags, a couple caps, I don't remember what else, maybe a couple other things, but very fairly priced. Not at this one. His prices were really, really on the high end. And it was a shame because it was late in the day Sunday, which was the last day, and there was still a lot of stuff left. So in my opinion, he's really overpricing his items to the point where they're not selling like they should. Many times when I go to estate sales late in the day on Sunday, there's just not a whole lot left. But when you overprice your stuff, there's going to be a lot. I mean, he had a salad shooter in there with just one of the cone blades marked at $25. I mean, I find these things all day for $8 or $10 at estate sales, and then I pay half of that. So by comparison to the other estate sales that I went to Sunday that, you know, had really sold a lot of stuff and didn't have a ton of stuff left, he may need to rethink his pricing strategy if he wants to move these items. I sold a telephone call screener, and this sold for $16.68 plus shipping. In the 08 bin, I've got a book. No, that's not it. Current issues and enduring questions, and this sold for $14.53 plus shipping. Back in my eBay room, and in the J bin, sold one bottle of VitaSoothe Pro, and these sold for $21.08 plus shipping. Next item is here on my black shelf, and it is a vent, and this sold for $24.76 plus shipping. And the last item is something I listed last night, and it is a cookbook, A Taste of Heaven Hungarian Presbyterian Church cookbook. And this, I almost kept this cookbook. Whenever I get cookbooks, I always flip through them and decide whether I want to keep them or not. And this is one that I almost kept. I've had it for a little while, and I looked through it, and I actually put it in my pile of cookbooks to keep. But I have so many cookbooks. But this one is a really good one. It's got a lot of South Louisiana Cajun type recipes in it, and it also has a lot of traditional recipes. It's in really good shape also. But this cookbook came from an estate sale. I believe it was $2. The vent came from the Amazon bin store, and again, I believe I paid $2 for this. The supplements came from an estate sale, and I pretty much bought them out of a whole bunch of bottles of these, and they were like $3.50 something cents because I made an offer for all of them, and it came up to be like $3.50 something per bottle. The book came from the Amazon bin store. It would have either been 50 cents or $1. And the telephone call screener came from an estate sale, and it was either $2.50 or $5. I cannot remember how much exactly I paid for that. That's going to do it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. As always, I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next video.